Hey, Basket Brains, Kirby here, aka Darkwing Disc, and I am alongside Ollie DePina, and this is episode 18 of the KO Disc Golf Show. Ollie, it's crazy that we're at 18 episodes, bud.
Yeah, no, it feels so like, oh no, time's flying, but it's awesome.
It's been great, man, for sure. This is episode 18. This is the Pidgeot episode. Famous players to wear the number 18. Peyton Manning, Darryl Strawberry, Joe Morgan, and Phil Jackson when he played basketball. Obviously, when he coached, I don't think he wore a number or anything like that. And Red Sox players that I personally really like that wore the number 18 is Johnny Damon, Daisuke Matsuzaka. He was really famous for throwing the gyro ball when he came into baseball.
Okay.
Shane Victorino and Mitch Moreland.
Nice.
And thank you to the sponsor of this episode, Krava Organics. Matt and Linnell have been a big reason why I will be going to Worlds in just a couple of weeks. So big thank you to them, and shout out to Krava Organics. Ollie, how was your week, bud?
It's been good. It felt nice having like a weekend off of a little bit of disc golf. I know Roxy was probably a little happy she had me for the weekend and not going to these courses and doing that kind of thing. So I went on a hike over to Lake Serene, and that was pretty sweet. It was about like total like down and up was like over 10 miles, and it was like most of the day, but it was pretty fun. Like you go up and we stopped off at like a waterfall, and I guess there's like 4 different falls, and then the lake up there is just super cool. So that was awesome. Really enjoyed that. And then I got to go to all my time living in Seattle. I have not gone to Seafair, and so I got to go to Seafair on Saturday with Roxy and her family, which was super fun. They hooked it up with, we got some like VIP tickets, so we were like right in the front, and like I got to go into the pit and like walk around there. So it was a really cool weekend, just like, I don't know, relaxing and stuff. So gonna go play some disc golf this week and have that on the agenda. Then next week, and got a little trip where I'll be in Montana. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be great. Like you just said, you'll be in Montana next week doing the episode. So we're either going to kind of figure out, kind of getting you in remotely out there, or I may potentially just go live on YouTube. We'll kind of figure out throughout the week what we think is easiest and best, for next week. But we're definitely not going to miss a week. That's definitely not going to happen.
Yep.
That's cool, man. 10 miles is like a insane amount to go and hike. Like what? That's wild.
The elevation was crazy. It was like over 2,000 feet of elevation, where like at points you're just like going, there's like a mile or two where you're just like going up, it felt like, and it's like really like really jagged rocks and stuff. Yeah. So it was an interesting hike. I had not too much problem going up. Like I was like, oh wow, I'm fit right now. Like that felt good. The second I like had to think about going down, it's like I roll my ankle, I'm falling, I'm tripping. It's like, it's just all not fun for my knees and ankles going down. So that part was whatever, but going up was fun. I'm excited to go on some more hikes, and I want to see some more waterfalls. I think waterfalls might be like my new favorite like thing to go see.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I grew up in Niagara Falls.
Yeah, but you can't swim in. You'll die if you swim in
you can't. But there are areas where like you can walk under the falls, basically.
Oh, really?
The falls are like crashing next to you, and you can just like reach your hand out, and it's all fresh water, so you can reach your hand out and like catch water and just like drink it like right there. It's really, really awesome, and
that's really cool.
There's like the Maid of the Mist, where you can go on these like little like ferry boats, and they bring you into like the horseshoe of the like kind of like that. They bring you to like the horseshoe of the fall, and you're just getting like rained on by the mist. Like it's really, really cool. If you ever,
I'm gonna have to check that out. Bucket list, put it on.
Nah, it's a cool thing. I mean, I grew up there, so like it growing up, we're like, yeah, whatever. This is just like here all the time. Same as like being from Seattle. I'm sure like Seafair or like the Space Needle. You're like, yeah, this is just whatever. I just see that every day. But like for somebody to travel there, it's like a really big deal to go for sure. Want to give a quick shout out to so this guy Billy Smith. I don't know if you've met him yet. Billy plays I think like MA2 or MA3, and he plays like MA50 a lot, or MA40 maybe. And Billy comes in the shop, chats for a while. He's friends with Matt from Krava. And Billy's telling me, he's like, yeah, I heard you have like a little like podcast or like a show. And I was like, oh yeah, like, I do it with Ollie every week. I was like, where'd you hear about it? And he goes, oh, my friend who lives in Massachusetts told me about it. So we have a fan from Massachusetts. So shout out to Mark Worrell. Thank you. Appreciate you listening to the show and all that. So really funny though that Billy, who I like interact with like all the time, heard about our show from somebody who lives all the way he lives like near Maple Hill in Massachusetts.
Hey, there we go. We're getting the KO reach.
That's right. I was like, that's so crazy. And the
That's really
fact that his
cool.
name is Mark Worrell, and I also have an uncle who passed away probably 5 to 10 years ago, named Mark Worrell as well. So I was like, how do you spell that? And I was like, what's going on here? And when he spelled it, I was like, that's totally different. But there was a moment where I was like, what is happening?
He stole an identity. Something
right?
like
Maybe. Oh my God, that'd be so crazy. Or maybe he never passed away. I don't know. Yeah, like you said, there's no tournaments. There's no big tournaments this weekend. I also took the weekend off, which was pretty nice. My wife and I did have some big plans, kind of set up for yesterday. Just kind of honestly, it was such that scene from Old School with Will Ferrell, where he's like, "Yeah, we got a really nice Saturday plan. We're going to Home Depot, and we got this and that to do." And that's literally what my wife and I had to do. We had to go grocery shopping. We went and got our haircuts. We were gonna go out to lunch. It was the most married person day possible, and we were both really looking forward to it and whatnot. And then Butters, who's walking around me right now, we get home and he's not doing too well. He was feeling really sick. It was literally coming out of both ends, all over the place. So that was kind of a disaster.
Oh yeah, to clean and to deal with.
Yeah, dude, it was gross. And we contacted the vet, and the vet was like, "Yeah, you should bring him in. This sounds because Butters has already had some medical issues in the past, so we brought him in, and we probably spent 3-4 hours just kind of hanging out, kind of outside and inside of the vet's office, just kind of making that little camp for a while. So not exactly, the day that we were planning on having, but honestly, it's whatever we can do to make sure that our little boy's doing all right, kind of thing. So
of course,
I saw him this morning and he's running around like nothing happened. I was he was I was wearing a hoodie this morning and he was fighting at the little strings on my hoodie, and I was like, you were in the hospital yesterday, you need to stop. So
he just wants to play.
That's right. I was like, dude, you need to chill a little bit before something bad happens.
For real.
Yeah, really funny though. So, looking forward to getting ready for SeaTac next week. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, we're going to break down a couple of tournaments that happened this weekend. First and foremost, there was the Town Throwdown. This happened up in Oak Harbor by Eric Dupinski and Dips Discs up there. Brian went up and played with Kyan, his son, and he said that it was a really, really good time. Everything was really well ran, so congratulations to Eric and his team. That's really awesome.
Nice.
We're going to run through the winners real quick. We got Trevor McCleskey. Looks like he took down Tyler TK Kunknell in a playoff. I don't know much about that playoff, but that's cool. They scored the exact same score as round 1 and round 2. It's kind of, you don't see that a lot. Mm-hmm. Allison Mabbutt won FPO. Honestly, no surprise. She's incredible. Eric McCabe, the world champion, Eric McCabe, won MP40. And apparently, Brian, chatted with him a little bit, and he was like, oh, yeah, I know who you are, being an owner at Emerald City. So I'm expecting to run into Eric at some point in time in the next, couple of days. I guess he's going to be coming on by the shop. So
nice.
that'll be cool. Yeah, it'd be nice to kind of, chat with him and kind of, meet him and that kind of thing. So winner of MP50 was Eric Cook. Winner of MA1 was Eddie Hall. Winner of FA1 was Hannah Keller. Winner of MA40 was Eric Dupinski. Nice job, Eric. Winner of FA40 is Shayna Schuerman. Winner of MA50, Eddie Wren Jr. Winner of MA60 was Todd Stevens. My boy Chuck, my goat of MA60, Chuck Knudsen. He came in second. Good on him. He only lost by 2 strokes, so it looked like they were in a pretty tight battle for most of that second round. MA2 winner was Bowen Anderson. MA3 winner was Eric Granberg, and Travis Schuerman got second, and so did Brian. Brian tied for second. I think this might be his first podium finish. He and I chatted a lot about it today. It's all the same stuff that you kind of expect out of your first, oh, I'm in this for the win, kind of feelings where it's like the pressure is a lot more, and you kind of start to feel things that you don't normally feel when you're kind of, hanging out at the cash line and, kind of fighting for spots in there kind of thing. So it was really cool talking with him about it today. And he's in really good spirits. He feels really good about his game right now. And it's so funny because this is something that I think about a lot where he's like, dude, 2 strokes. He's like 2 strokes and I walk away and the winner, no problem. He goes, and I can find 2 putts that I missed. And that's something I think about a lot. It's like, hey, in order to win, you really do have to go and you can't miss anything close. You can't, you know what I mean? Those gimme, that's all 100%. Stuff that if you're gonna win, you need to capitalize on that stuff. So congratulations to all of them, though. It was really cool hearing about it, and from what I understand, it was a really well ran event, which is awesome. So nice.
That's awesome.
Something else that I kind of want to chat about a little bit is other tournaments kind of going on next weekend. Like I said, I'm going to be playing the SeaTac Open. It's 2 rounds of 27 in one day at SeaTac, which I'm personally looking forward to. It's only a C tier, but it's only for one day, and there's 108 players, and there's 13 MPO players. Throwchella, sponsored by Dynamic Discs at Kayak Point Open, is a 3-day B tier, and they currently only have 47 players, and they have 0 professional players at all in the tournament. So I thought that was kind of an interesting note and kind of an interesting, fact about the weekend. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's just the fact that it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday tournament. I bet you if it's a Saturday, Sunday, they probably get a ton of MPO players. You probably get a ton more just players in general, signing up for that tournament. Fridays are tough for a lot of guys, or for just a lot of people.
Yeah, I know the Seattle crowd of disc golfers has been looking forward to this tournament and see the SeaTac Tree Smack. Those 2 are 2 tournaments that I know everyone in the Seattle area really wants to do, and is I was really bummed out when, I'm excited for my trip, but I was pretty bummed out that I wasn't going to be able to be doing this tournament because I look at SeaTac as a home course. I love SeaTac. I think it plays. It's probably the most fun course you can go close by because it's the challenge, the amount of holes, different things like that. And especially if they're in the layouts. If they're not in any short layouts, it's really, really fun and challenging.
Yeah.
So I know that could be a big thing. I know we've had a bunch of tournaments north and south where the Seattle crowd, if there's a SeaTac tournament, that's the one you're going to want to do for sure.
Yeah, totally. And then I think there's another tournament. There's a non-sanctioned event, more north. Was it the Mossy Rock? That's another one. That's non-sanctioned, and that's in Sudden Valley, which I think is in Whatcom, which is I think more north of Kayak, kind of towards where Colin Knight lives, up.
Yeah, it's the Bellingham area more.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, the Bellingham crowd, they talk about Mossy Rock. If you talk about playing up north in that Bellingham crowd, Mossy Rock's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
The courses that you frequent, basically.
Yeah. So I mean, even with that going on too, I'm sure that's sucking away a lot of the numbers and a lot of the field away from Throwchella kind of thing. So just kind of an interesting note, something that I happened to notice when I was just kind of looking through for stuff to talk about for the episode.
Did you watch any of the skins match at Kayak at all?
I haven't watched. I watched a couple holes of the blue because I was trying to prep for Kayak.
Or the AMs versus pros.
No, I haven't.
The one with David Suyat.
David Suyat was all over it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty fun watch. It's get a chance and get around to it. It's a pretty fun watch. They talk about the Bach Chicken Boys a lot, which is cool. And
that's cool.
It honestly is a pretty fun format of how they do it. The first video they posted was a 23 or 24 player, and then it's just if you don't birdie, you're out of the competition. We're gonna go down to 4. So that was fun to watch, and then watching the actual thing was cool, but interesting to see. But I feel it's really hard for pros, and especially whenever the red course is in play, it definitely you have to just score so well on that red course.
You have to get eagles.
Yeah,
You know, that's
exactly. And
so crazy.
it's not about birdie or die; it's about eagling or dying, which is
Yeah,
like, yeah,
there's a couple of holes there, like hole 8 on red course is like not an easy birdie to get. So like it's almost like one of those like you almost have to bank on getting an eagle or two to make up for that because you have to go and shoot like honestly like 15. You know, like if you shoot any less than like excuse me, if you shoot any less than like 14 or 15 at kayak red, like you're losing pace with so many people and you're losing strokes that aren't easy to make up out there because you're going to go to gold. And what's the best case scenario is you shoot like 2 down, 3 down at gold, you know, and the rest of the
best case
field shooting
scenario.
par. Yeah, right. And the rest of the field shooting par. And you're like, that's like, how do you, it's just so hard to make up those strokes. So, and it sucks because you'll be birdieing holes and being like, damn, like I birdied that and I just lost a stroke, you know, like that's tough. So,
Yeah, definitely interesting.
yeah. But yeah, we'll get into the SeaTac Open preview. Like I said, it's 2 rounds of 27 in one day. I'm really looking forward to it. This is definitely like, like Ollie said, it's his home course. It's my home course as well. It's the place that I go and play most of all. There's going to be a couple of holes that are going to move in between rounds. I messaged Chuck today to kind of get the lowdown on this. So thank you to Chuck Mintz for the info. The holes that are going to be moving between the rounds. Right now, hole 1 is in the deep position. It's going to be moved to the short right position. Hole 5 right now is in the straight position. He says it's going to be moved to the C position, which I believe is to the right. 18 and 19 are going to be changed. So 18 right now is in the par 4 position, which means it'll be changed to the par 3 position. And then 19 is currently in the par 4 position, and then that will be changed to the par 3 position, which I gotta say, I like hole 18 in the par 3 position, and I like hole 19 in the par 4 position. So I don't know that switch is kind of interesting.
You like it more 18 more in the 3 than the 4?
Yeah, I like 18 more in the par 3 position. I think it's a really, really difficult, like straight tunnely turnover shot, and I don't know. I think I'm just more concerned about that than I am the other shot because the other shot you just let something hyzer out, you know, and kind of go a little more overstable on it. But to get the birdie on that on the par 3, I think is really challenging on
For
18.
like the owl hole, right?
The
That's what
what?
you're talking about? The owl hole, where it's like tucked up the little hill. The par 4 is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The par 4 is kind of like snaked up and left.
You
Yeah,
think the par 3 is more challenging?
yeah. It's harder to get the birdie at least.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
it's
that.
so hard to like. It's a really difficult
It
shot.
takes a really, really good shot. And I remember the last tournament I did there, I got that one, and the guys on the card ahead of me thought my drive was my second shot. And
Oh
so when I got the birdie there, like they thought it was just a par putt, and I was like, oh, that was my birdie.
yeah, yeah. No, it's. I mean, it's like it's hard to get the disc moving left to right on that low of a line and not burn it over and not go too stable where it wants to
It
hyzer
was
up.
Yeah,
Like
because I threw maybe my touchiest disc. It's like this my flippiest redwood, and I threw it on like a hyzer, and it flipped up and panned right, and it just has like the tiniest bit of finish. So it's a really touchy shot. Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm gonna try to do. 'Cause that's a shot that I'm always kind of like whatever I feel the most comfortable with for the day. Like I go in with like 2 or 3 game plans, and it's like whatever one I just feel the most confident in at the moment, kind of thing. But I think the play for me is to take like an instinct, like a straight to like maybe have like a little bit of fade to it, like 7 speed, and just like hammer on it on some anhyzer out on the left, and just let it like work itself over, and hopefully it flattens out, but doesn't like come out of it, and hopefully it does flatten out a little bit, and I just kind of punch into the hill. Because if you land by the rock, you're probably like edge of circle, maybe something like that, which is pretty fine. So
And you said 19. What was the other hole that was adjusted after that?
19. 19's going to get moved short, which I'm not a big fan of.
I think it's like my best drives have been like deep circle 2 of that pin. Where
Yeah.
it's like not even circle 2 where you have a look. It's like off to the right side where it's like that tree's in the way, and it's like uphill at that point, and it's like, yeah, this is not.
Yeah, best case scenario, like my drive off of that tee there gets through everything, and I'm going to the par 4 position. I land.
Yep.
Like I can get to that log on like a really good drive, and it's just like it's so crazy that that's a par 3. I'm a big proponent of maybe changing that part of SeaTac to being a little more I think there's too many par fours in a row. You're like 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20, 22, 23, right? So you got like 7 or 8 par fours all in a row kind of thing. It's just kind of a lot. So I think if there is like ways to make some of those par threes, I would like to see it. I just don't think that that's the one to do it because that is such a good par four. I actually think that hole 20, and I don't know, I'm sure we've talked about this on the show before, but hole 20, if you take that pin where it is on when it kind of goes up on that little hill platform, you just take that pin and move it short and left and made that a par three. I think it would actually be a great par three because the guys who throw really far are still rewarded by throwing a great drive that gets up to like the foundation or something like that. And the guys who can't throw very far, I should say the people who don't throw very far, right, can make it at least like down the fairway enough where their second shot could be up on that platform. And then
if you are, I think you should be rewarded if you're able to get anywhere on the hill, like a chance to throw it in on the hill, like be looking at the basket, clean look at the basket to throw it in, maybe like 80 feet ish from that hill would be a good spot, I feel like. That would be a really fun, because if you're gonna have it, I like that idea. That's actually a pretty cool idea.
And I think it also like rewards somebody who throws like a better, like a more precise drive, because like right now, like I'm just trying to hit the hillside like any way that I can or get it on top of that hill, and it really doesn't matter where on that hill I am. If I'm far right or if I'm left, no problem. But now if you're looking at putting, it's like, oh, I really want to make sure something's overstable enough that I do finish on the left side so I can give myself a 20-footer compared to being on the right side of the path. And now I'm, putting from 70 feet or 60 feet or whatever it might be, so.
Yeah, I feel like I have the strength to get up to that hill, but I feel like that's one of the things where if I try to go for it, the consistency of how many times I'm getting on that hill through like 10 maybe isn't as high as where I want it, where for that hole, I just go my lightweight alpaca and I go up the middle and I'm like I'll have it turn out a little right and then I go forehand over stable firebird, and it's almost like a guaranteed, like just breaking the hole down feels really nice to have like 2 shots like that. But yeah, I feel like
that's definitely like the old school way of playing it, because like back in the day when all that holly and all that like stuff was on the left, like you couldn't just throw drivers on top of the hillside and crash them up there and kind of just be okay. Like you'd be so screwed on the left side, like it just wouldn't be fun. Like I remember back in the day, I used to do the same thing where I'd throw a putter or I would throw a mid and I would try to crash like physically into the hill and have this like kind of touchy like forehand approach, because that hill, that bush really went like really far into the right and you had like no space up there. That hole got nerfed like really hard when they took all that stuff out.
Okay.
So
when you say nerf, do you mean it got easier or harder?
It got soft.
Yeah.
Nerf is soft, like nerf soft. Yeah. And then
in gaming terms, like things like if something's really good in gaming, it will get nerfed. So like if something's like overpowered, you're nerfing it, and then if it's like really low powered, you're buffing it.
Yeah. Like nerfing is just a way to like make You're like Exactly. We're on the same page there for sure. And then the other one that's going to change is 27, which I kind of like. I like having 27 up in that like mound that it is.
Oh yeah, I like the mound spot the most. I think the lower spots too. It's just a gimme.
It's very
I think I only have not gotten it like 2 tournaments before, and I think like they were pretty early on, and then the one time I didn't get it, like this other time was like it just felt like the biggest like mistake in the day basically. And it's like that's like the must get.
Yeah, I made some really big putts on that hole. I went out with my friend Kayla the other day. That hole and then hole 15. I went out with my friend Kayla the other day, and we were on hole 15 and on the tee box. I was like, I love this hole, but at the same time, like this is one that I feel like I have to get. I was like, so I ended up having to make like circle 2 putts like through these little woods and tunnels. I was like, because I get so desperate for the birdie. And then as we're talking about that, I threw a bad tee shot, and then I made like a 40-footer through like a little tunnel of woods. And I was like, what'd I tell you? I was like, this is just kind of the way this hole is played for me.
How this works, yeah.
Yeah. And 15's like not a difficult hole either. It's actually another really kind of almost like a gimme. So.
Yeah, 15, that's one where I have like 2 different plays where I like kind of go, either it's putter, like kind of flipping it up and just going straight, or I will go like kind of flexy mid. And just have it try to go have it flex and then crash at the basket. And I've had some pretty good ace friends doing that where I'm like, And luckily that green stops everything pretty much within like
it's like you can't go
20
too
feet.
far behind there for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would like to say as well that the Seattle field is growing really fast and really well. We don't even have all of the regular like Seattle players in this field, and when I look at it, I can honestly say, dude. Okay, so before I make this point, I saw Luke Gent today, and Luke Gent was like calling his shot. So Luke next year is going to MPO.
Let's go.
So I told him, I was like, all right, I was like, we're gonna have like you and Ollie like running the North Park crew then, being like the MPO players. So
Love that. Luke has he's popped off for 10-20. He's at like a 10-22 rated round at Stillicum, and he can just pop off for these I think he shot like 9 down or something on like either as like the 27 hole layout they did or like the 18. Like it was like I was really impressed with him.
yeah.
Like there's days when you play with him and it's so impressive. So I think I'm excited. We work and play with each other, and he's someone that pushes me a lot when we practice. So it's good to have someone that's like, I want to be in the MPO field. I want to do this instead of being like, I don't know. I think it's just so good to be pushing yourself to go do that further and stuff.
No, it's awesome. Yeah, he was calling his shot this morning though, and I was like,
Let's go.
Bring it.
Let's go, Luke.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, when I look at this field, there's out of the 13 people, if you told me that if you told me that 10 out of those 13 people won the tournament, i.e. like 10 of those people won, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And I'm like, there's so many people in the area where if you told me like, hey, that guy popped off and shot 10-18 for the weekend and for the day, I wouldn't be surprised. Even look at guys like you might not know, like a medium germ, Jeremy Suave.
Yep. I met him officially at White River, but I saw him at South Sound and everything. Yep. He's awesome.
He's great, and like he can pop off and have an amazing day of disc golf, like no problem. Caleb Joyner, we all know like how good he is. Like Atticus has like all the arm talent in the world. The Tenkley brothers,
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like there's just so many people in the Washington area, and this goes back to my golden age of disc golf in Washington and kind of thing, and that we might be just kind of like on the beginning side of the golden age of disc golf. Like we don't know where we are on that, but there's so many players that are so good right now, and it's really cool. It's fun competing against all of them because you don't know who that weekend is going to push you, and honestly, that kind of drives me a little more to get ready for the weekend and to get my game sharp, because it'd be like, yeah, there's 9 to 12 guys like coming for me this weekend.
Yeah.
Like, let's go, and like they're all fighting for the same thing that I want, and that's to win. So
let's go.
It's really cool. I really love it. All right, moving right along, we're gonna get into our quiz. So this week we have I'm gonna do 5 molds. I'm going to give Ollie 5 molds, and he's going to name the brand that mold comes from. So, Ollie, are you ready? Do you have any questions?
No questions. Born ready. Let's go.
All right, let's do this. Your first one is going to be the Firestorm.
Oh, the Firestorm. Is that an Innova?
That is an Innova disc. Nice job.
Okay. I was like, I've seen a DX one before. I had to go in the vault.
Yeah, nice.
All right. When Kirby said this before, little note, he said these are all going to be layups. I'm just going to say that didn't even feel like a layup, but I bet it did to him. But we're going to...
Firestorm seemed like it would be easy. I mean, like...
That was.
I guess what I meant was none of these are going to be like a brand that you've never heard of. So
okay.
Yeah, so they're all like main brands. I didn't pick like... like, I don't know, like Doomsday Discs or something. I didn't pick a company that has like 3 molds and you're
heard.
So, all right, so for your second one is going to be the Mermaid. Who makes the Mermaid?
Oh, Discmania.
Yeah. That one I figured was going to be pretty easy.
I've never thrown a Mermaid, but I've thrown the Mentor. And so I remember like when I first started getting into disc golf, those were 2 discs I was looking at and like being like, maybe this could help me.
Yeah, so. The Mermaid floats in water. And so it's like one of those, like, I think it's actually going to be discontinued now that they're doing the thing from before. So.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it wasn't really popular.
The Mermaid.
Honestly, all those, like, those, like, floatable discs, like the Dragon and, like, the Wahoo, they kind of suck.
Hey, no disrespect to the Dragon, please. Dude, DX Dragons, hey, they have a special place in my heart.
The DX Dragon is a piece of shit.
No. Okay,
Oh,
maybe
that's
new
all.
challenge video,
Yeah.
DX Dragon challenge video. You pull out your, I'll call out a bad disc, and we'll
Okay.
do
I'm gonna DX disrespect it, man. I don't give a shit. Yeah.
Franklin versus DX Dragon.
Yeah. I can't throw those. I tried so hard. I'm gonna still try, but damn, they're hard, man. They're
I think a Franklin versus Franklin would be fun.
it's
Okay.
difficult. Yeah, we'll try that sometime, and I'll smoke you, and then that'll be like the challenge video where I'll put up a disc, and you put up like the dragon, and like the loser, like that disc gets like trashed. Like I'm gonna
I think
get melted. And
I
shit.
think one thing with our challenge videos we should add is maybe doing like a wager. Like we need to
Okay.
up the stakes a little bit.
All right. So next you got the trident. Who makes the trident?
The trident. Oh. I am not too sure. The first company that popped in my head, it's probably not them, is Neptune Discs, but I don't think it's gonna be them. I'm gonna go with all right, that's gonna be my guess, whatever.
Yeah, not them. It is Latitude 64.
Okay. Respect.
Yeah. Discontinued mold, but yeah, back in the day that was my buddy Alan's like favorite disc.
I started going through the Neptune Discs lineup, and I was like, I don't think he'd pick one of the 4 or 3 discs they have. Yeah.
A little too niche. All right, the Impulse. Who makes the Impulse?
The Impulse. MVP?
MVP does make the Impulse. Yeah, nice.
No clue. Never heard of the disc. Could not tell you the number, anything about it. But it just sound. Like
it seems like a MVP thing. Yeah.
That had the MVP vibe to it for sure.
Totally. That was probably like one of the toughest parts of figuring out like all these like different names in that. Is I would go in and like look at like I would look at like Clash discs, right? And it was like, well, this is all food. Like obviously, like what this is gonna be, and I would look at other things and be like, oh, like Discmania. What if I put down like FD1? You'd be like, obviously, like
yeah,
really simple.
PA3.
Yeah, I wonder. All right, so your last one is gonna be, and this I think is probably the most difficult one on here, the Basilisk.
The Oh,
right? Easy for you to say.
Basilisk.
Yeah. Basilisk. Am I saying it weird?
I'm gonna go with West Side.
Basilisk. No. Basilisk. It's Divergent.
Oh, Divergent discs. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out Divergent. That's
like a little niche, but not.
No, I like Divergent. I think they do because sometimes I have a problem with disc companies just putting out something that's just something another company's done. But
yeah,
I really liked when I saw them do the color thing with the disc and the I thought that was so innovative and so cool, and I was like, more discs should have that kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's what's up. Okay, so I was 3 for 5, 2 for 5.
I think you were 4 out of 5. Oh no, you got 3 out of 5. You're right. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's
pretty good.
My first trivia above 50%.
Oh well, the Cars one you smoked, but that one's. Yeah. Nah, you're kind of killing the trivia lately. I mean, I put up a goose egg last week, so it's fine.
Next week, got it.
We'll see. Yeah. All right, so moving on to the draft for this week. This is kind of an interesting one, and the idea came to me from my wife Ellie. She texted me the other day, was like, "I have a draft idea for you," and I love that. I was like, "Heck yeah, let's go!" So it is things that feel illegal to throw away that are not. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good one. We all have stuff that just kind of gathers, and you're like, why do I hold on to this? Why do I not throw this away? And that's kind of the vibe that we're going for this.
Okay, heard. I have not prepared anything too much, but I'm starting. The brain's flowing. We're flowing.
Yeah, there's and once you get rolling with it, I think it works pretty well. So I'm gonna go first. And the first thing that I'll say is Allen wrenches. Those little Allen wrenches that come with IKEA furniture and stuff like that.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, man, but I have a ton of those just kind of around at all times.
And it feels illegal to throw them away.
Well, it just feels bad to throw them away I shouldn't. You know what I mean?
And that comes from you might need them later? Or
maybe. I don't know.
Heard.
Should I throw it away? Probably not. It's kind of like it's like an Allen wrench. Like, what if I need one in the future?
No, but and then
Also,
next thing you know, you're like, oh, what if that's loose and I just need to tighten it real quick or something,
maybe, honestly, but like at the same time, like they're fucking everywhere.
That's true.
So like, yeah. All right, what you got?
All right, the first thing that popped in my head was like people like when they move out or do stuff, they like get rid of their old video games and stuff, or you'll see like old video game pamphlets or like cases and different things like that. And I feel like that should be illegal to throw away. That's like, oh no, I love that. Either sell it or do something with it.
Like
someone will
boxes or something.
Yeah, video games in general, I'd say.
Just video games in general.
Yeah, getting rid of old video games. You know,
I mean,
I get cleaning up some stuff, but like, I don't know. I think it should be. I have like all the old discs that I used to play as a kid still. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm a big fan of that. And then my next pick, I'm gonna go with like fresh food. Like, it should be illegal to throw away. Like, I'm a big believer in like finishing my plate a little bit. You know, like I don't know. I'm not trying to waste food, kind of deal. You know.
Okay.
Like, it feels like it should be illegal to waste food. You know, there's people that are hungry.
Yeah. Okay. I get that. Yeah. All right. So my next one is going to be. I'm going kind of a whole way different route than you're going with these. I think. My next one's gonna be like any like cord or like cable that comes with anything. I don't know what that is. It feels bad to throw them away. So like I end up with like a drawer and like a box full of just like random cables and cords that I have nothing to ever do with, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So cables and cables/cords is kind
of. I have about 2-3 big bags, plastic bags, just full of cords that I'm not too sure what they go to. Yeah.
No, but at the same time, you can't throw them away because what if you need one?
It's like I know there's one of those cords will go to something that I need.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you were to throw them away, you would feel bad about it. And like that's the premise of this whole thing. By the way, this all stemmed from the fact that my wife and I started cleaning our house out a lot, and we dropped off like just a ton of stuff to Goodwill. But there was stuff it was like old clothes, you know, and just stuff that was like just general.
Hey, that's where I feel about this. I would never drop a video game off it. I've seen some gems that are like the gems at Goodwill where I'm like, how?
No, I totally agree. I get that.
That's where mine comes from. And then the food was like, that was just off the dome.
Yeah. All right, so for the number 5 pick for the draft, I'm going to pick good boxes. My wife has a thing with like, you know, if it's like a good box for like packing or something like that, or like, you know, maybe you need for like storage or something later. I don't know. Our garage is full of just empty fucking boxes, dude. It's just they're good boxes, so we can't get rid of them, but at the same time, like they're just empty.
That's how I am with shoe boxes. I have a lot of shoe boxes where I'm like, they're so useful. At the same time, I don't need any more shoe boxes that I already have.
But you can't get rid of them either. Yeah, totally. No. All right, you got number 6 and number 7.
All right, for number 6, we are going to go with something that I feel like I can't get rid of. I have a lot of old books and stuff. I feel like it's hard for me to get rid of books.
Books are a good one.
And they take a lot of space too, which is funny too. So you're like, you just like will have like a if you have a lot of books, it's just like a lot of space taken up by books.
Nah, that's a good one as well. I totally get that one. Yeah.
I've been getting into reading a little more too recently. I've been having some like slower days where I've been reading a little more manga. I've been catching up on some. I'm gonna be catching up on some Boruto and Naruto soon, and then Zatchbell. Just a little peek into my life on what I'm doing on a day-to-day.
I was about to pick on you for reading and be like, "Oh, you're such a nerd," and then you're like, "I'm going to be reading some anime," and be like, "God, you really are a nerd."
Hey, who I am.
Yeah, no, that's cool, dude. All right, what you got for your number 7 pick?
My number 7 pick is going to be, and this is going to be my final pick as well. I'm going to go with probably, I was thinking like clothes in general, but like that's too big, so I'm just going to go with my like jersey collection. It's so hard for me to get rid of a jersey. I love my jerseys. I think clothes is too much of like, what does this mean? So I'm going to go with my jerseys. I feel like it's like, and when I go to like a Goodwill or something and I see like a really cool jersey, I'm like, part of me is like so excited, and part of me is like, what happened that made you put this here? I was like, oh no.
You're no longer a fan. What's going on? Jerseys are a good one. I would have argued with like clothes in general because there's a really good feeling about getting rid of like, oh man, I haven't worn these pants in a really long time, and you clear out your drawer and you're like, oh, this drawer is no longer stuffed. Like,
Yeah, I feel that. That's why the jersey specific makes it a little
yeah,
more. Like those have like little. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I have a flannel shirt that I bought my senior year of high school that still like fits pretty well, and I'll never throw that shirt away. I haven't worn it in probably 2 or 3 years, but I'll never throw it away because I'm like, well, this is like this is my shirt,
Yeah,
like,
that's my shirt.
yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's just like my shirt, so um all right, so for the last pick of this draft, um I'm going to pick uh the box to the iPod, or like your iPhone box,
Ooh,
you know what
that's tough.
I mean? Like,
I think I could go back and find like a Motorola box. Like
oh
I have like
sure.
one of those flip phone Motorola boxes still.
Yes,
Like
I don't
I
know
feel that. I
I
feel
don't know
that.
what that is, but there's something about throwing that thing away. It's like, well, you shouldn't, just in case.
And then
Like,
like I've seen a video where they're like, actually under this thing there's a hidden like, and I'm like, what? I missed
yeah,
out on my core, or like I missed out on this there. Like what?
that's funny. Yeah, so a couple of like honorable mentions that I have. I had like video game boxes. So like when I have my Switch, I have like a little thing that I put my games into, and then I just have the box, and I don't know what to do with the box, but at the same time, it feels
That's
criminal.
pretty close to mine. I'd say I was talking about pamphlets in my pick.
Oh yeah, no, that was honestly. And then when you said that, and I was like, yeah, that's right up there for me. I did have like old clothes on my list of like, I don't like throwing them away because I do think you should donate them instead of throwing them away, because like as people that are going to be cold and stuff coming up in the winter, people
Yeah, facts.
so. Um, and then another one I have is broken discs. I don't know what it is. Like, I have like a stack of broken discs in the corner there that are like cracked or broken in half, and like I just don't really feel like I can like throw them in the garbage. But at the same time, like they're not getting thrown ever again either. So I don't know what to do with them.
That's really real. I feel like there's like a big, and you know this because I come in with these big like bags of discs that I'll come give to the
Oh,
used bin and stuff like that. But then there's like a real like row and a real like box of discs that are like discs that should go to that, but for some reason I can't make go to that. And they're like either like a disc that like is a little too beat in or like something like that,
mhm.
but it has a core memory. But I'm like, I'm with you on that. I
Yeah,
feel that.
I mean, all of this, like these three top rows are all Discmania because of stuff that like I've just gotten sent and collected, and then I have a row of Innova, I have a row of Discraft, and I have like a bunch of like a row of miscellaneous, and that's stuff that's just
Mm,
like, yeah, but I like this, and I don't want to get rid of it in case I ever am gonna be, in case I ever go to throw something like random else again, kind of thing. So
real.
yeah. All right, Ollie, do you want to tell everybody about the giveaway and kind of round out the episode?
Yep. So we reached 100 subscribers on YouTube. We are so thankful. It's like super awesome, and like to stay like one thing we love to do is just talk about Washington disc golf. So we got two great showstoppers here. We talked about it last time, and so to enter, all you gotta do is tag 3 friends on the KO Disc Golf Show Instagram, and then be subscribed to the YouTube channel, and we will be announcing the winner August 11th, and you'll have a chance to win these pretty sweet discs that I've been holding on to for a while. Been very tempted to throw. I'm not gonna lie. I've been looking
Yeah.
at this one.
Oh, I got to go through one last thing. The giveaway from last week.
Oh,
Uh,
the dragons. Yeah.
the Dragon Story thing. All right, so all right, I got this tactic. I'm gonna go through a lot of comments last week. I really appreciate that. That was awesome. I'm going to grab one by random. We're gonna go with this one here. That's not Dragon Zord. That's not Dragon Zord. I got Silver Fox.
Let's
Sweet.
go.
Yeah, that's Toby. Nice.
Hell yeah. Cool
So
new
I'll get this.
tactic.
I'll get this over to Tactic. Or I get this over to Toby. Toby with the tactic. All
Yeah.
right.
So this was just like some of the first giveaways that we're doing. Definitely something we want to keep doing. Like we really appreciate the support we've been getting, and like it's been amazing. So we want to give back to like all of our community with that. So be looking out for more of those, and every 100
Totally.
subscribers probably going to be doing some big giveaways. So very excited for that.
A
Yeah,
stack
look at that. Look at
giveaway.
that.
Yeah. And honestly, every time Discmania does a new drop and they send me like a pair, what ends up happening is I throw one and then the other one just kind of sits on the shelf. So that might be a good opportunity to kind of, yeah, same with that, exactly. So it might be a good opportunity to kind of give away some new plastic, that people maybe get their hands on a little early.
Yeah, and for free, like all you gotta do is follow on Instagram. It's free, like that. It takes no time.
Man. Yeah, come on, easy.
Yeah, to round out the episode, I got a quote from Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is like a very integral part of my childhood. I'm a big Eli Manning fan, Giants fan, but hot take, Peyton Manning's probably my greatest quarterback of all time. I like Tom Brady's one more and all that, but if I have to pick a quarterback for my team, I'm picking Peyton Manning. But Peyton Manning has an amazing retirement speech, one of the most humble, most heartfelt retirement speeches. So go watch that as well. But one of the quotes from Peyton: "There were other players who were more talented, but there was no one who could out-prepare me, and because of that, I have no regrets." Peyton Manning. Aim high, shoot low, and we'll see you next week for episode 19 and the Tilt Challenge video coming out this week as well.
Friday.
Peace.
Friday. We'll see. See you guys.